From Studio 3B in New York, here is Stone Phillips.
There's only one way to know how a vehicle will come through a crash, and that is to crash it. In September, we showed you government tests to see how people would fare in the deadliest kind of collision, side impact. The government tested 40 cars, all different sizes, smashing them at 35 miles an hour. It gave its highest rating, 5 stars, to only 2 cars, the Toyota Avalon and the Lexus ES300. A year ago, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, funded by the insurance industry, tested 11 small cars in driver-to-driver crashes, a more common kind of accident. None got the Institute's highest rating, good, but several got the second highest, acceptable. And now to some of the hottest selling cars, small sport utility vehicles. How will they do in a crash? The story coming up on Dateline.
You're watching Dateline, winner of 4 1998 Emmy Awards, more than any other news magazine.
Over the years, Dateline has shown you all kinds of crash tests on small cars, luxury models, minivans, light trucks, sport utility vehicles. Well, tonight, some of the hottest cars around, those small SUVs. People like them because they look rugged, and having four-wheel drive gives you that I can go anywhere feeling. But will it get you there safely? You're about to see those SUVs put to the test. Here's Chief Consumer Correspondent Lee Thompson with a Dateline Consumer Alert.
Give us one last reading, please.
Ignition on.
Transmission in neutral. Emergency brake off. Shed lights. Seatbelt.
Steering wheel.
Yes. Yes.
There it goes. Airbag off.
I now have status.
We're leaving the runway.
For 4 years now, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has been testing all kinds of vehicles, smashing them into a barrier at 40 miles an hour. Tonight, a brand new class of vehicles is put through a punishing auto safety test. Small sport utility vehicles, some of the fastest selling cars on the road today. These cars already meet or exceed government safety standards.
We're trying to assess the capability of vehicles to prevent serious injuries and deaths.
Brian O'Neill and his team of engineers at the Insurance Institute are funded by the insurance industry. They say their goal is to cut insurance claims by prompting auto manufacturers to build safer cars. Why does the Insurance Institute test cars?
The Institute crashes cars because we think there's a role we can play that's not being played by the government.
The government crashes cars into a flat wall at 35 miles per hour. O'Neill says that's a good test of a vehicle's seatbelts and airbags. But he says the Institute's offset crash test more closely resembles many serious real-world accidents, where cars end up hitting like this, driver to driver, off-center.
So it's a good test of the vehicle structure.
Now it's time to find out how 8 top-selling small SUVs perform in the offset test. They include the Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Cherokee Sport, Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, Subaru Forester, Suzuki Grand Vitara, Isuzu Amigo, and the Kia Sportage.
They're very popular with younger people because they're an inexpensive version of the more trendy, larger sports utility vehicles.
The 8 SUVs cost between $18,000 and $24,000 and were bought right off dealers' lots. Dateline had no say on how they were chosen, tested, or evaluated. The Institute ranks vehicles as good, acceptable, marginal, or poor. First up is the 1999 Subaru Forester.
The end position of the dummy looks pretty good. We've seen a lot worse, and that's because we're not seeing any seat tipping or distortion.
It doesn't even show up except very slightly.
Yeah.
Dummy readings show no serious injuries to the head, neck, chest, or legs. Take another look using the Institute's slow motion films.
We have dummy movement, but it's reasonably well controlled in this crash. We'll see in the next tighter shot that most of the deformation and damage is confined to the front end of the vehicle.
Let's go.
So the Institute gives the Subaru Forester its highest rating, good. This is the Jeep Wrangler. It's been on the market for more than a decade. The Institute tested a soft-top version. in this case with the top removed. It is the most popular Wrangler model.
There's some buckling and movement down here, but the upper structure looks like it's held together.
A roll bar, which takes the place of standard roof reinforcement, does give the Wrangler added strength.
Let's see what the numbers look like.
Once again, dummy readings show no serious injuries.
What do we see?
The head looks
Good.
very good.
But the Wrangler's low doors concern O'Neill.
The dummy movement was not controlled as well as it should have been.
So the Institute gives the Jeep Wrangler its second highest rating, acceptable. The Suzuki Grand Vitara is brand new for the 1999 model year.
His legs are good. His chest is okay.
The roof has buckled, but there are no serious injuries.
There is some collapse of the compartment at that level.
The Suzuki Grand Vitara also gets an acceptable rating. This is the Kia Sportage with a brand new first-of-its-kind safety feature. One of the most significant findings of the Insurance Institute's offset crash tests is that they often result in serious lower leg and foot injuries. Kia, in an attempt to cut down on those injuries, is the first automaker to install a knee airbag in its 1998 Sportage. The question is, does it make a difference? The Institute has run several tests on the knee airbag, which takes the place of ordinary padding in the dashboard.
What you have with a knee airbag is the airbag deploys and, in effect, provides padding during the crash.
So, did it work? Well, it turns out the dummy readings from the offset test show a possible broken left leg. So Kia gets no points for the knee airbag.
The knee airbag has not made any difference as far as we can determine in this crash. It will make a difference, we believe, in some crashes, probably for people who are unbelted.
O'Neill says Kia would be better off by improving the overall structural design of the Sportage. So the Institute gives the Kia Sportage its second lowest rating, marginal. Let's look at the Honda CR-V.
The knee is wedged up against the dashboard as the dashboards come backwards.
The dashboard has been driven back into the driver's space. Dummy readings show a broken left leg.
Head must have really turned.
And the steering column has moved enough to cause a head injury.
As a result, there are forces recorded on the face that could lead to a fracture of the jaw or the nose.
Those potential injuries to the head and leg are the reasons the Institute rates the Honda CR-V marginal. This is the Jeep Cherokee Sport, the biggest seller out of all the cars tested.
Left foot looks like it's been pushed way to the right.
The dummy's foot is trapped under the brake pedal. Readings show a broken left leg and a possible injury to the right one. Look at the front tire. It's been driven back through the floor. Although the dummy doesn't record any head injuries, O'Neill is again concerned about that steering column.
You see, this is the original position of the steering column. But watch how, during the crash, this column goes backwards and then up. When that steering column comes up towards the driver's head and chest, there is less space for the airbag to do its work.
So the head just slams right into the steering wheel.
Correct.
The Institute also rates the Jeep Cherokee Sport marginal. Now take a look at the Toyota RAV4.
You can see that the dummy's head has come back and contacted the pillar, and then
Dummy readings show high head acceleration into the door frame, along with a broken left leg. Steering column movement exposed a metal flange in the dashboard, which punctured the dummy's right knee.
we see two problems here. We see that the steering column's gone up, you see that. During that event, there's some relatively high forces recorded on the chest, and during rebound, the dummy's head hits the B-pillar with a relatively high force.
Enough to cause a concussion?
That's enough to cause a concussion, yes.
So because of potential head, chest, and leg injuries, the Institute rates the Toyota RAV4 marginal. The Isuzu Amigo, off the market for 3 years, was completely redesigned for the 1998 model year.
There's major buckling, which is caused because this part of the structure is collapsing in.
The floor has been pushed back 14 inches. The left foot is trapped, and dummy readings show a possible injury. O'Neill says steering column and dashboard movement compromise the safety zone around the driver.
This is poor structural performance. Major collapse of the occupant compartment, major intrusion.
Despite the fact that the dummy readings show no serious injuries, the Institute rates the Isuzu Amigo poor. Surely the manufacturer is going to say, is it fair to mark a vehicle down when indeed the injury statistics are not too bad?
Well, manufacturers, or some manufacturers, would like to rely only on injury numbers, but this is one size dummy in one seating position that happens to record over most of the dummy's body regions relatively low forces.
O'Neill says a different size dummy or a real person may have suffered more serious injuries. And that's why the Institute evaluates not only injuries, but structural performance and dummy movement as well.
A 40-mile-an-hour crash is actually a very, very rare crash.
George Parker represents an association of international automakers. He says the Insurance Institute test simulates an accident so fast, so severe, it almost never happens. The Insurance Institute says it picked 40 as the speed because among fatal front-end accidents, about half happened faster, half slower than 40 miles per hour. Considering the speed, Parker says all the SUVs provided good protection, including the poor-rated Isuzu Amigo.
Would you have survived that crash? Yes. Not only would you have survived, but you would have survived with a low chance of serious injury.
In a letter to Dateline, Isuzu says it's perplexed that the IIHS chose to give the Amigo an overall poor rating, even though its own test evaluation indicates low risk of injury to the head, neck, chest, and right leg. And Chrysler, maker of the Jeep Cherokee Sport, says it finds no evidence that the dummy's head bottomed out the airbag onto the steering wheel. It says the Institute's conclusions are speculative. Other automakers feel the Insurance Institute test from a real-world standpoint should be the subject of further research. And George Parker says consumers should not rely on just one test.
All manufacturers are concerned about performance in all crash modes.
So to recap, the Institute rates the Subaru Forester good, the Jeep Wrangler and Suzuki Grand Vitara acceptable, the Kia Sportage, Honda CR-V, Jeep Cherokee Sport, and Toyota RAV4 all receive marginal ratings. And the Institute rates the Isuzu Amigo poor.
We've got one good performer, one poor performer, the rest in between. There's simply no reason why they can't all be as good as the good performer.
As we told you, all these small sport utility vehicles meet or exceed government safety standards. And both the automakers and the Insurance Institute recommend that when you're shopping for a car, you shouldn't rely on just one crash test. To get more information on how these small SUVs performed in the Insurance Institute's test, as well as the government's crash test, you can log on to our website. The address is www.dateline.msnbc.com.